Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to Memories Dogma Code 1. So I put this series on hold just for a little bit. Anyone doesn't know, my main laptop is currently... I had to send it out to get some repairs, which may or may not have been my fault. And in the meantime, all I had was a Windows tablet to record, and I tried, it didn't work that great. Now I have a slightly better laptop that I can use for recording for the time being. Because luckily all I'm doing is visual novels right now. And so we're going to get into this today. I don't have a ton of time right now, so we're going to do a little bit of a shorter one. But I definitely wanted to play some of this today. So let's continue. Last time there was an explosion, I remember. And we were going to go chase that, and then I stopped. So let's continue from there. The horizon is tinged with a faint light of dusk, the smoke rising up into it, serving to act as a beacon, signaling that an accident has occurred there. Mikane and Emma are running far ahead of me. So far, I can still barely make out their forms. In order to catch up to them, I desperately run as fast as I can.
Hiroki, ちょっと待って.
Ooh, let me turn that down slightly. Like I said, I'm using a different laptop, so I don't have any of these settings quite right. Let's try that. When I hear Reina's voice, I suddenly come to a stop. When I turn around, I see Reina breathing heavily behind me. Looks like she chased after me.
さっきの場所で待ってろって言っただろ。
あなただって、私が止めたのに聞く耳持たなかったじゃない。
おいこって、お前。
その代わり約束して、これ以上は危険な状態だと思ったら引き返す。
ああ、分かったよ。
You can see a number of patrol cars heading to the scene via the highway, their sirens blaring. Further ahead, you can see a large mob of pedestrians running towards them, their faces twisted in fear.
やっぱりこれって異常事態だよな。
そのようね。
I call out to one of the pedestrians.
ちょっとすみません。何かあったんですか？
There was a loud noise, kid.
駅前で大きな爆発があったんだ。君たちも早く避難しなさい。
He says and then runs off as fast as he can.
爆発だって。
どうするの？どう考えても危ないところよ、ここは。
だとしても、この目でカケルの無事を確認したい。レナ、やっぱりお前は離れたところにいた方が。
いいえ、ここまで来たんだから、ヒロキが何と言おうとついていくわよ。
意外と強情だな。
目には目をってことわざ、知ってる？
好きにしてくれ。行くぞ。
We slip through the crowd, fleeing in the opposite direction, and keep running towards the station. Eventually, we spot Akane and Emma. As we get closer to them, we see there's a man blocking their way. He's middle-aged and wearing a suit. It seems like they're talking about something.
何度でも言う。君たちが行けるのはそこまでだ。
I hear the man say in his deep voice as I finally catch up to them.
そうはいかねえんだよ。わっかなやつだな。
そんな槍みたいなものまで持って。ここで起きてることは遊びじゃないんだぞ。
そんなの分かってるよ。こっちだって遊びじゃねえんだ。
おい、アカネ、どうしたんだ？
お前たちはここに来るなって言っただろ。ああ、もうどいつもこいつも。
Middle-aged man looks in our direction.
どいつもこいつもってのは俺のセリフだ。
Oh yeah, this is supposed to be like the old cool guy. As he said, well, I don't know if he's old. He just looks, he's older. He's not like a 20-something like the rest of us. As he says that, he activates his MRD and brings up an AR display.
俺は刑事の龍泉寺だ。俺の言葉には強制力がある。
そんなの知るかよ。いいからそこをどけよ。
Akane yells angrily at the detective calling himself Ryu Senji.
おい落ち着けよ。
刑事だかなんだか知らないけど、私たちの進路を妨害するなんて怖いもの知らずだな。
何をわけのわからないことを言ってるんだ君は。
うるさい。さっさとそこを通せ。
Akane's completely lost her cool. Seeing Akane so riled up, Ryu Senji can only shrug his shoulders.
ここはお嬢ちゃんたちのような子供がうろうろする場所じゃ
I'm
な
not
い。
a kid.
駅前広場からこの辺りまで全て封鎖中なんだ。
爆発があったって聞きましたけど。
そうだ。その原因を調査するために今我々警察が捜査中だ。死傷者が出ている可能性もある。だから
I was trying to figure out what was wrong with him. You noticed how he's got like some really bad, like, artifacting around his... Not artifact, that's not the word. Like, it looked like he was... This is a picture of him against a white background, and they just really carefully traced it out, but they didn't do it that carefully. Like, you still see some of the edges that don't look so good. Whereas if you look at Akane here, I'm not really seeing the same thing.
だったらますます私たちが行かないと。エマ。はい。
Akane and Emma see an opening and slip past Ryu Senji-san from either side.
おい待て。くそ、ただでさえ人手が足りないってのに。いいか、安全が確保されるまで君たちもここから先は通行禁止だからな。
After saying that, Ryu Senji runs off after Akane and Emma. After a moment of silence, Reina and I both continue forward. Sorry, Ryu Senji-san, but we can't stop now after coming this far. While searching for Kakeru, we make our way to the station plaza. I expect to see people collapsed all over the place, but the square is practically deserted. There are a few rescue squads carrying some people off in stretchers in the distance, but it looks like they've more or less managed to finish roping this area off. Some parts of the station are still burning, but the fire department seems to have the blazes under control. They'll probably have them all extinguished pretty soon. It looks like there was some kind of event going on earlier, as there is an abandoned stage with a mic stand and floodlights collapsed around it. The daylight is fading fast, but the glow of the setting sun still illuminates enough asphalt that I can make out a few things scattered on the ground. A single shoe, an open bag, a coat ripped to pieces, and here and there you can see some dark splotches. This is blood. I don't really want to imagine what might have happened here. We still haven't been able to find Kakeru either. I can't even be sure if the blood on the ground is Kakeru's or not. Dang it. Kakeru, don't tell me you got caught up in the blast. Don't tell me you're going to leave me too.
ヒロキ、
I mean,
一度引き返した方がいいと思う。
you were the one that was trying to kill yourself the other day. Can't really blame him for that.
辛いと思うけど。
Reina says as she gently pats my back. It probably is a bad idea to stay here too long. I guess we should head back. The moment I think that...
おーい
Familiar guy, I hear a voice from far off. A voice I know very well.
ヒロキ、あれ、
Of course it is. I turn back and breathe a sigh of relief. Kakeru's waving at us while walking towards us.
いやあ、こんなとこにいたのか。
それはこっちのセリフだ。俺たちはお前を探してたんだよ。
そっかそっか。そりゃそうだよな。心配かけて悪かったな。
It's rare to see Kakeru apologize so frankly. It's actually rather refreshing. I don't know if it was because I'm so surprised by his apology, or just because I'm relieved to see him, but the strength in my legs gives out all at once.
あれ
From behind Kakeru, I hear another familiar voice.
君たちお昼に会ったよね。
She's the young police officer, Henzaki Haruna.
あなたはあの時の刑事さん。
そうそう、すっごい奇遇だね。
Haruna happily slaps my arm. Looks like Rihanna still can't handle the super energetic Haruna.
なんでかけるとあなたが。
私のことは春菜って呼んでくれていいよ。
どうしてかけると春菜が一緒に。
いや恥ずかしながら爆発の時びっくりしちゃいまして、その時どっかの段差につまずいて転んじゃって。
その時俺も近くにいたんだよ。駅からそんなに近いところにはいなかったから俺は何ともなかったんだけど、ちょっと横見たら倒れてる人がいるもんだからさすがの俺も慌てちゃってさ。でも声をかけてみたら本当にこけただけでさらに刑事さんだったんだよね。意外にも。
そうそう、意外にも刑事だったんだよね私っておーい。まあこけたものの無傷だったので周囲の人に声をかけたり救急隊の手伝いをしたりしてたんだよ。
She seemed a little suspicious when we first met her, but maybe she was really just a diligent officer with a strong sense of justice. Even knowing the danger, she came all the way here to save people.
何しろ本館は警察官ですから。
She might be a serious person at heart, but everything she does just ruins any serious impression anyone might have of her. I guess that's just how her personality is.
で、お前は？
俺も刑事さんと一緒にここまで来たってわけ。
雨宮君ってばついてくるなって言ったのに全然言うこと聞かなくてさ。まあ人手が足りないから助かったんだけど。
なるほどな。まあとにかく二人とも無事でよかったよ。
As our conversation finishes up, we spot a young woman in a police uniform wearing silver-rimmed glasses running up to us.
神崎淳
Wait,
さ
wait, did I read that wrong?
こん
Hold
なと
on.
ころにいたのか。
Oh, a young man, not a woman. Whoops. Young man's voice.
米倉先輩、もう鑑識も出てるんですか？
It looks like this Yonekura fellow is a police officer too, and an acquaintance of Haruna's.
さっき着いたところだよ。
なるほど、お疲れ様です。
Haruna salutes crisply, making you wonder if she really is the same person that had been so lax a few moments ago. This is the first time I've ever seen her act like a proper police officer.
それでこの方たちは。
We quickly explain our situation to Yonekura-san.
なるほど、神崎淳さんがお世話になったんですね。僕は鑑識官の米倉卓と言います。以後お見知りおきを。
ねえ、どうも。
If not for his uniform, you'd never be able to tell this Yonekura guy is a police officer. He looks far too nice and gentle. If you put him next to Haruna, they look more like a peaceful pair of siblings than police officers.
そうだ、神崎淳さ。そこの百貨店前で竜泉寺警部補が探してたよ。
あ、了解です。ありがとうございます。
It looks like these two are investigating together with Ryu Senji, who we saw earlier. Haruna turns back to us and bows.
君たちもありがとね。もう歩けるし、ここからはお別れだね。
うちの巡査がお世話になって本当にどうもありがとう。でもお世話になっておいてあれだけど、この辺りからは早く避難してほしいんだ。もう僕たち鑑識が入って捜査してるからね。
You can tell he's not a very important character because He's not drawn with anywhere near the level of detail as our other character here.
そうですよね。すみません。俺たちも探していた友達が見つかったので、これから避難します。
うん、そうしてくれると助かるよ。まだ犯人も捕まってないし、危険だから早く立ち去った方がいい。
Just as he says that, Yonekukura-san surveys the area with a nervous expression. As he does so, Kakeru elbows me lightly and brings his face closer to mine.
犯人ってことは、やっぱりこの爆発は誰かが仕掛けたものってことだよな。
そうみたいだな。俺たちも早くここを。って。
I gulp as I see Ryu Senji-san appear turning the corner at the end of the street. He definitely sees us too, and starts running towards us, his face a storm of rage.
君たちこんなとこで何してるんだ。引き返せと言っただろう。
After yelling at us, he turns to Haruna and Yonekura-san.
師匠、お疲れ様です。
Haruna and Yonekura-san stand up even straighter than usual as they salute Ryu Senji-san.
お前たちもこんなところで油を売ってるんじゃない。
はい、すみません。
失礼しました。
それで君たちと一緒にいた子たちは確かあと2人いただろう。
I haven't seen Akane and Emma ever since they gave Ryu Senji-san the slip.
二人の行方は俺たちにもよくわからなくてすみません。
そうか。とにかく君たちは一刻も早くここを離れろ。
わかりました。レナ、俺たちも行こう。
As I turn back to Reina, I can tell that she isn't listening. She's staring at the black smoke rising up from the destroyed station and looks like she's deep in thought.
レナ、大丈夫か？
あ、ええ、ごめんなさい。
It's nothing important, don't worry.
なんだかとても嫌な感じがして。
As she says that, Reina peels her eyes away from the smoke cloud. It's true that the spectacle around us is completely out of the ordinary, so I can kind of understand Reina's feelings. Let's go. As I'm about to say that to Reina, suddenly,
お前たち、逃げろ!
we hear Akane's piercing yell even from this far away. As I turn in the direction of the voice, I see Akane and Emma further down the road, running towards us. Wait, it's not just Emma and Akane, there's one more person. Ah, that looks like a scary fellow. A man who looks like a giant black shadow is also running towards us. He's very tall and has a sharp glint in his eye. His presence is immense. As they get closer, you can tell that Akane and Emma are chasing him. Who on earth is he? As I look at his right arm, I see something that I'm unable to tear my eyes away from. Glinting in the crimson evening light, a blade dyed red with blood. We're still a good distance away from him, but I can clearly make out the weapon. Explosion, blade, slasher, culprit. A lot of words associated with that image flash through my mind. That, combined with the strange actions of the man and the blade he's holding, connect everything together for me. I remember what Yonekura-san had said, that the culprit still hadn't been caught. Is that man running towards us right now the culprit? Suddenly, a figure appears from the shadows, interposing themselves between the man and us. It's a young woman. She's looking around unsteadily, as if searching for someone. She has the worst timing possible. It's all too easy to guess what's about to happen next. It feels like somebody has knocked the wind out of me. I can't breathe. The woman notices us and looks this way with a slightly dazed expression. Because of that, she doesn't realize what's coming from behind her. Akane shouts something at her. The woman finally notices and turns around, but it's too late. The man's already too close and he raises it high. which I originally thought was some kind of blade he was holding, turns out to be his arm. From his shoulder up until about halfway down his arm, it looks like a normal human arm, but from then onwards, it's a sharp-edged blade. It looks as if a blade is melted into and become one with his arm. The man swings his huge arm blade down. In that moment, no one can utter a single sound. Even the woman about to be cut down doesn't say a word, or at least if she does, I don't hear it. The huge blade comes at the woman's left shoulder at an angle, cutting straight through it until it reaches the ground. Oh man, what an idiot. Right after the huge sound of the blade impacting the ground, you can hear two thuds as the thing which used to be the woman hits the ground. It takes a few seconds to realize that there are two thuds because their top and bottom half have been cleanly severed and hit the ground at different times. The woman lays on the ground, unmoving. It's clear that okay, we're going a little detailed on this. It's clear that the crumpled figure lying in the asphalt is dead. From a far enough distance, it might look like she's just collapsed, but the huge pool of blood staining her clothes and spreading across the ground shatters even that illusion. The man lifts his blade, which had sunk into the asphalt, and without even a single glance at the woman he's just cut down, continues heading towards us. However, instead of running, he's now walking slowly forward. What the hell just happened? What has occurred in front of me now is so absurd that it doesn't feel real at all. My brain can't process the information being sent to it by my eyes. The back of my head is filled with a sensation I can't understand.
警察だ止まれ今すぐに
Your cutting people in half days are over. Ryu Senji-san's shouting finally brings me back to myself. I realize I haven't taken a breath this whole time. Oh. His art here looks a little bit different, doesn't it? I hurriedly take a breath, and as I do so, my narrowing field of vision begins to expand again. My body, which had been frozen in place, can finally move again. I look back at the man approaching us. He's looking towards Ryu Senji-san with his head slightly tilted, and a faint smile on his face. Man, she got cut good! As I look around at everyone else, I can tell they're frozen like I was moments ago, unable to process what's happening in front of them. Then, once the distance between us and him has shrunk to about 5 meters, he stops. However, he shows no intention of surrendering his weapon. Instead, he readies himself and takes a stance.
Kazaki! 構えろ
At Ryu Senji-san's words, Haruna is able to unfreeze herself as well, and points her gun at the man. It's clear her hands are trembling. I don't know if it's out of nervousness, fear, or both. Man with a sharp glare and a sharp arm. The man surveys us all as if he's looking at prey, and finally his line of sight settles on one person. The person reflected in his eyes is Reina. He's instinctively able to tell who among the people here is the weakest. Reina's the smallest here, and she's not carrying any weapons. Yono Kurasan grabs Reina by the shoulder.
下がっていてください
It's hard to describe the aura surrounding him in words, but just staring at his faint smile is enough to make your hair stand on end. The very air around him just instinctively screams, "Don't let him get close." At the very least right now, there are 2 police officers pointing their guns at him. In a situation like this, even a guy like him won't be able to do anything too easily. Right as I think that, Akane, who's finally caught up from behind, swings her spear down at the man. She is able to unhesitatingly charge at that monstrous man. Akane's rush was so sudden, Even Ryu Shinji didn't expect it. However, before Akane even starts her attack, the man kicks off against the ground and jumps aside. He sidesteps her vertical spear swing and, as he turns around, slashes at Akane. That wasn't the sound. Okay. Emma interposes herself between the two of them. She's holding something that looks like a shield in her right hand. She takes the blow in the shield, guarding Akane. However, the impact of the blow sends her sprawling backwards. Filling the spot Emma had been in seconds ago, Akane once again thrusts at the man, aiming for his chest. Just as the spear's tip is about to reach him, the man twists his body, avoiding the thrust at the last minute. He continues his turn and fires off a roundhouse kick at Akane. Akane catches the kick with the handle of her spear, but the force of the blow is still too much and she's thrown back.
Akane!
I unconsciously call out Akane's name and she glances at us and yells as she's getting back up.
お前ら何ぼーっとしてんだよ
Emma quickly runs up to Akane and raises the shield in her right hand, standing between Akane and the man once more.
茜怪我は
While continuing to glare at us, Akane raises up a hand to Emma, signaling that she's alright. Emma nods and turns back to the man.
だから早く逃げろって言ってんだろ
何を言ってるんだ。
君たちこそその男から離れて場合によっては君たちも逮捕しなければならなくなるよ
もうだったらさっさとその銃であいつを撃てよ
話にならん。そこの男と君たち二人、全員武器を放棄して両手を上げろ。これは
Akane and Emma, Ryu Shinji and Haruna, the two pairs' conversations are getting nowhere. I don't know if he's listening to their conversation or not, but the man is just standing there doing nothing. Everyone's staring at him, wary for any movements he might make. At that moment, Randa suddenly turns on her heel and starts running away.
おい、ねえな
I reflexively look in the direction Rand is running.
おい、止まれ。
At the same time, from behind me, I hear Ryu Shinji saying shout, and then the sound of a gunshot. I look back over my shoulder, and the first thing I see is that the guy that was standing there a second ago isn't there anymore. The second thing I notice is that Haruna's on the ground. Her gun's lying on the asphalt a short distance from her hand.
何今の
どういうことだよおい
神崎、しっかりしろ。米倉も来い。さっきの男を探すんだ。まだ遠くには行ってないはずだ。はい。
Just what happened. In the few seconds I turned around to look at Reina. However, I'm even more worried about why Reina tried to run away by herself. I look back at her again, just in time to see her round the corner at the end of the street. If I don't chase after her now, I'll lose her. Well, of course, we're gonna chase after Reina, right? Yeah. I yell at Kakeru, standing there in shock.
かける。俺はレーナを追いかける。とりあえずお前はここから先に逃げろ。え
Kakeru still hasn't fully processed what just happened, as he lets out an unintelligible grunt. I don't have time to wait for a proper answer and run off after Reina. I wonder if that was one of the decisions that we get to make. I think this is a good stopping point for right now. I wanted to make a shorter video so I can edit it and test it, see how it goes. So far I haven't had any frame drops, so compared to when I was trying to record on the tablet, this is going swimmingly. This is great. Anyway, Hope you guys enjoyed, though. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to look up really quick to see if I can find out where the first decision takes place. Okay, so, using a guide here, it looks like that was one of the choices. Well, one of the, like, the decision, or the, you know, the bad end choices. If we don't chase after, we get a bad end, so I think I'm going to stop here. Because I do have some stuff I need to get to, yeah. But, I'm going to stop here. When we come back, I'll probably do another recording later tonight if this did go well. I'm going to go back, make that bad choice, and then we'll, you know, continue from here afterwards, so... Hope you guys enjoyed so far, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for watching. Bye.